Hey guys, what's going on? Thanks for stopping in to Connected by Creatures with myself and Mr. Zach Nava. Zach, what's
What's
going on, man?
what's up, everybody? It looks like y'all been in here for a minute. I'm just now getting in here to seeing all the comments. I appreciate y'all being here tonight.
Yeah, it's been going off in the comments for a little bit. I think Chris Sexton mistaked us for Bill Nye the Science Guy,
That sounds about right.
which I mean, hell, if I can be mistaken for anybody, it would be awesome to be Bill Nye. Because growing up as a kid, I thought Bill Nye was one of the coolest people ever.
Well, I just thought he was great because that meant I got to watch TV at school.
Yeah,
Because
no
that's pretty
shit,
much
man.
that's where I always saw him
You
when it was
remember the
TV day, the
You
TV
remember
cart.
the rip off Bill Nye the Science Guy, the Beakman's World? Did you ever watch that one?
Oh man, I do remember that. Yeah, I forgot about that. Forgot all about that. What's up,
What's
Corey?
going on, Corey? So we didn't have a guest lined up for tonight, guys, and Zach and I kind of talked, and we just kind of wanted to come in and give updates on what we had going on in our lives, and the projects that we're working on, and just kind of you know catch up with each other.
Yeah, sorry, Chris. No bill tonight, brother. I'll see. I'll put it on our goal list of people to get on. I'll find a way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Bill Nye is gonna just jump on Connected by Creatures here pretty soon.
Hey man, I'm just saying, if you don't have long-term goals, like what are you really working for, right? I mean,
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
not saying it's going to be next week, but I'm just saying I can make this happen.
I'm
Give me
uh
enough time.
I'm thinking, probably by the end of April we'll have Bill
Easy. Yeah,
Nye.
easy.
Easy, easy.
Easy. How many I just got to figure out, like, they say there's, what is it? They say like 6 degrees of separation, like there's only like 6 people between you and like everyone else in the world.
Right.
I mean, that means, dude, like, what do we need? 6 weeks? Just 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Like next week, I'll have one person on that's like one step closer to Bill Nye, and then we'll just, eventually by week 6 or 7, we'll be there.
That whole idea is pretty crazy though. And
Oh,
it's
I know.
true. Like, how often do you meet somebody and, like, within talking to them for 10, 15 minutes, you find somewhere down the line that and I mean, it can be somebody from way across the world. It's interesting how that shit works.
Yeah, yeah, it's weird.
So
Exponential growth and all that.
one of the things that I wanted to bring up to you, Zach, that I
Hmm.
had texted you about earlier, did you see that they found the possibly world's smallest reptile?
No.
Yeah, so they found a new, like, nano chameleon in Madagascar,
Okay.
and it's basically the size of like a seed. Like, it's tiny, tiny, and there's sexual dimorphism where the females are larger than the males, but the female's full size is like 26 millimeters.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's
And they're in
insane, man.
Madagascar?
Yeah, Madagascar.
Huh.
I think they're called like they're a subspecies of nano chameleon. I can't remember the scientific name that they gave to them, but it was
Hmm.
pretty interesting. I was reading about them, and, like, the guy has one on the tip of his finger, and, like, it barely goes across the bridge of his finger.
That's crazy. It's interesting to me to think about something that small, like reproducing. You know what I mean? And then, like, what does it eat?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I,
That's
I
crazy.
I don't know how much research that they've had the opportunity to do so far,
Yeah.
but it's, yeah. Look, there's a fucking Jeremy, this guy. Yeah, it's a coincidence with you, Jeremy. Coincidence with you. So, you want to answer this question, Zach?
Which one's that? Who is
From
Bill Nye? Oh man, I really hope that's not like some real sad truth that like people in the UK don't know who Bill Nye is.
I I don't know if that's a joke or not.
That
Like
has to be a joke.
I want to think that it's a
But it
joke.
is, yeah. So it's an American show, whereas this dude that like I don't, from what I understand, like he doesn't even actually have like a degree in science, but he taught us basic science. Like he did science experiments
Yeah.
on this show, but like they would show it like at school. I mean, it was super educational, but it was always just like in a really like overly entertaining way. Like he was more of an entertainer, I thought, than he was a better entertainer probably than a scientist.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
But yeah, there was like a whole theme song and the whole nine.
Bill Nye the Science
Yeah,
Guy.
Kayla, I'm actually almost like this is one of those moments where I find myself being jealous of somebody that because I'm like excited for you to see it for the first time, but I also hope that it's not extremely disappointing because you're like not a kid seeing it for the first time. Because I'm sure like me, like, I'm not going to go sit down and watch Bill Nye now and still be interested. But as a kid, it was awesome.
And that I think about that all the time. How like I wish that I could kind of just delete memories so that way I could have that experience again.
Right.
Whether it was like a movie or a TV show or a book or just knowledge, learning about something again.
Yeah.
Like that's so Kim Sanity. That's my cousin Cody, and he says that Bill Nye has a mechanical engineering degree from Cornell.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I didn't think he actually had like in other like a lot of the stuff that he does that he talks about, like biology and chemistry and stuff like that, which is all wrapped up in engineering, but still, you know what I mean. Like my sister, we were gonna talk about tortoises later on. My sister actually works for the Georgia Department of Natural Resources, and she's involved in like tortoise conservancy and stuff like that in Georgia, like that kind of sciences. I don't know, but yeah. Freaking Bill Nye. He was the man.
Kayla says no. We have David Attenborough.
Okay, I'll give you that.
And I mean,
he's kind of a badass.
Yeah, David Attenborough, and I mean just that voice. Like you can hear that voice, and you're automatically gonna turn your head and like, oh, I gotta watch this.
Yeah.
It's like it's like hearing
Captain
Steve Irwin's
Planet.
voice. Captain Planet. Oh my god.
I can't remember why I was thinking about Captain Planet the other day, but it's been within the last couple of months that it came up, and I don't remember in what context. I think just because I had like some weird random memory of that, like I saw something on the internet or something, and I was like, that was really a weird fucking show.
Dude, Mindy's on it. She has the whole song right there.
I remember watching it a lot as a kid, but like thinking back to it, I'm like, that was fucking strange.
Yeah, like you get a bunch of rings together, and you and then this blue guy comes flying out of the sky with green hair.
Yeah. Earth, wind,
heart,
the heart kid,
fire. Wind.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think I remember. You know what it was? I think I saw somebody had done some kind of a parody, like a voiceover or something, to a bunch of video from the show or something on TikTok. I think is what it was. It was hilarious.
It makes sense.
Hilarious. Yeah, Kira. That was the main thing they were making fun of. Like I think they had like a real goofy guy at the end to say the heart thing, and it was
the
like
heart
real
was so
over
sissy.
the top. Yeah. So bad.
Man.
There was a monkey. Yeah, God, I'm gonna have to go back.
Oh yeah, it was, dude, I forgot about the monkey.
If it's as weird as I remember it being.
Lainey just walked over here and held up a sign that she wrote that said on PBS she had Sid the Science Kid. I'm not familiar with that. But.
That's like I that name sounds familiar. It's probably maybe it was something like my sister's or somebody. Was on the early end of, I don't remember, but it does sound familiar.
Man, I remember Lainey being little, like when she was a baby, and she would watch Yo Gabba Gabba. You ever heard of Yo? Dude,
yeah.
You talk about a tripped out show. Like, I mean, you had to be on some hardcore psychedelics to understand that shit.
Did that have some kind of Muppet characters on it or no?
Or they were like
that style.
Kind of. I would relate it more to like a Sesame Street because like
Yeah,
they're
and that's I was kind of classifying those the same in my head.
yeah,
Like,
and
yeah.
they're what's Thundercats? Oh my god,
Oh
Snarfles,
man, Thundercats.
man. This
Garrett's dad didn't have anything to do with Thundercats, did he? He just had He-Man and like
uh
Bugs Bunny
he
and shit.
did Garrett's dad did He-Man. He did some stuff with Ninja Turtles. He was
Okay.
all over Animaniacs.
Yeah. Like I think
And
they even can. Like I saw, because his dad has an IMDb. Like I think I saw on there he even had done some stuff like somewhat recently for Animaniacs,
yeah,
if I
yeah.
remember right.
And man, there was one uh that really caught me. Like, and it was
Bugs Bunny,
damn.
I
I wish I
know
could
he
remember.
had
Yeah,
he was involved with that.
uh, but he was like the main guy on one show, and I can't remember. It was something on Cartoon Network, and I can't remember
Johnny
what it is.
Bravo.
Johnny Bravo. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
Philip.
Johnny. He
Philip.
was all over Johnny Bravo,
Yeah,
and
that's so fucking cool.
every time I see Garrett now, I'm like, dude, I would much rather hang out with your dad than you. Your dad's
Oh,
way
for
cooler
sure.
than you.
He sounds like a much more interesting guy.
When we were up at Barchek's place and we all went out to eat, uh, Garrett was talking about that, and he was talking about being a kid, and like other kids would come over and be like, "Hey, can we talk to your dad?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, your dad was Drew He-Man. Like, you're not cool.
Sure. Yeah,
You can never live up to that."
that's hilarious.
Man, thank you guys for the comments. The comments are going off right now. Like I
Dude,
want to
they've been getting better and better every week. It's
yeah, I
hilarious.
want to highlight stuff, but I just would be clicking. We wouldn't even be talking, man. I just click directly through the comments. They're killing
Well,
it.
that's why, like, what's got me laughing is I keep seeing them scroll like over here on the other side of the screen behind me
Uh,
because you can see the reflection. So even if I'm not looking at them and I'm looking at the screen, I can still see everybody just going at it.
you
Pretty fun.
you were talking. You kind of said something about it earlier. And have you ever had that experience though, where like something that meant so much to you when you were a kid, and you go back and watch it, and you hadn't seen it in a long time, and you're like, man, this isn't really what I remember it being.
Oh, 100%. It's the same way with like playing a video game that you remember as a kid, and then you go back and play it now, and you're like, this is unbearable. Like this is not what I remember this looking like. It's all like the graphics are just terrible and everything else. But like, yeah, you can't. Unfortunately, like it's, because we all do that, and with everything, whether it's a show or a video game or whatever, like we try to kind of like recreate those experiences, like those memories that we have from childhood. And I don't think you can ever like bring it all the way back. Dylan, it's funny you said that about Fable. I almost wore a shirt that I found in my closet. That's an old Xbox shirt from when Fable 3 came out.
Fable was dope, man.
Dude,
I
the
remember
original was
Fable.
amazing.
Yeah.
Everyone after that got worse, but I still loved all three. And then I think, if I remember, because there's been people have talked about like, why don't they make another one? I think the way I understand it, that IP belonged to, I think it was like Lionsgate or somebody like that, or Lion something. They like went out of business. There was some kind of like weird way in which the intellectual properties, like nobody knows who owns it anymore, and like nobody knows what it would take
Really?
to bring it back. Yeah, it's like caught in this
That's
weird
pretty
limbo.
crazy.
Yeah,
Oh.
because it was basically what Skyrim ended up being, but
Okay.
Fable never quite was. Like that's what it was always meant to be. Like with Fable 2 and 3, like with the houses you could buy and all that stuff. But it just wasn't it was never as big as it was promised to be. Because Fable 3 was supposed to be like massive, like life-changing game, and then it wasn't as good as what they made it out to be.
Catching up with some of the comments, Kim Sanity, like I said, that's my little cousin Cody.
Yeah.
He said he remembers playing Twisted Metal with me before school when he was like 5.
That was such a good game.
Yeah, he's the exact same age as my sister, so they're 9 years younger than I am. Okay. So if he was 5, I was 14, and I was a bad kid, man. So I'm sure I was talking shit to him. And then to hit what Chris Sexton's talking about. Chris, did you ever play Zork? Uh,
Zork. I definitely remember it, but I don't think I personally ever played it.
it's text based, and like when the game, and we used to play it at school on MS DOS,
Yeah.
and you'd boot it up, and like it
I
comes
do
on,
remember this. I do remember this.
and it's
Was there
like you're
platforms to
standing in
it?
a field. Well, it says you're standing in a field, and like you can say north or south, or and
Hmm.
like whichever direction you go, it brings up more text. And there's no graphics, nothing. It's just
Yeah.
text, and it's like
Okay.
you go north, and you're standing in front of a house, so you're standing in front of this or
Yeah.
that. And then there's like a troll, and how do you want to kill the troll, or swing axe? You don't have an axe, dumbass.
Yeah.
But I
Hmm.
went back and played that not too long ago,
Yeah.
and I was a whole lot better at it as an adult than I was
Right.
as a kid. Because as a kid, I always just wanted to like set shit on fire, or, kill this
Yeah.
and yeah.
Right.
Oh, the Math Invaders game, Tom. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember those big, huge floppy disks, like when they were actually floppy. All that stuff.
Oh
So
yeah.
funny.
Oregon Trail, Marshall. Yeah. Uh, at the beginning of Oregon Trail, you get to pick like which character or whatever, and like everybody always picked the banker because you had the most money.
The most money. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I spent all my money on ammo, and I would just
Uh huh.
hunt the whole time, and
Yep.
like I
Me
would
too.
kill everything, and then you can't, your shit's too heavy to move your wagon now,
Yeah. Because
and like,
that was like the funnest part. So it's like even though you weren't even worried about like winning the game, you're just like this is the fun part. This
oh
is
yeah,
like
I
killing
never
all the
made
shit.
it anywhere.
No,
Like, and
no.
I was always gonna forge the river, man. You're not stopping
Oh,
me with
oh,
the river. I'm
100%, dude.
going across that bitch.
I always rolled the dice.
Yeah, I'm going across,
Always.
man. And then like all my friends always died of dysentery.
Yes. Oh man, that's the best. Yeah, I think I had downloaded an Oregon Trail on my phone or something at one point, but I had to delete it. It was like it was becoming time consuming. It's
you,
becoming a problem.
you turned a time sink Oregon
Oh,
Trail.
yeah, man. Professional Oregon Trail. It's pretty
Yeah,
serious.
Tom, you've died of cholera. Uh,
Man.
Aurora always died in the river.
Yeah, I
That's
mean the river
hilarious,
literally like
man.
almost always fucked me up.
Oh yeah, I
Dude,
always drowned my ox and shit.
there was some weird interactive mining game that we had that like came with our first computer we got in 1995, and I'm gonna have to find out what it was called because you could like basically like state like it was like an Oregon Trail except you basically always made it. There was like a mini game where you were like had to like dodge rocks and shit like down a stream, but then
Oh,
you bought your own, you could stake your own claim, and then then basically that was the end of the game. Like you staked your claim, you dug your claim, and it was like time consuming to get to this point. And then after that, there was nothing else to do. It was just like you either struck it rich or you didn't, and then that was the end of it, and you started over. But I
that's
probably played that
crazy.
a million times when I was a kid, and I don't remember what the hell it was called.
When you were talking about going down and like hitting the rocks and stuff, like that sounds really
Yeah,
familiar. But
let me see.
Alyssa, Minesweeper, man, I put
Minesweeper. Yeah,
way too many hours into Minesweeper, and at
I
first I
never
had,
understood it.
well, that's what I was fixing to say. I had no fucking clue what I was doing at first. And then I realized, if you right click on it, it tells you how many sides you're touching, and then you can
Oh,
actually strategically figure it out.
maybe I'll have to go back and replay it now that somebody's actually told me how.
Oh,
Because
I'm sure
I
the
never
computer
bothered to
had,
look it up.
yeah, I'm sure your computer has it right now. Oh, PC
I'm sure.
pinball.
Yeah, I remember PC Pinball.
Man, this has turned into like nostalgia hour. I like it.
Well, yeah, man, I kind of figured, like we wouldn't really know what we were getting into with this one, but I figured it would be good. Sometimes it's nice just to not even talk about the animal stuff. Dude, do you
Yeah,
know what I
man.
started looking at recently? Well, not recently. I keep tabs on it like a little bit here and there. Like is like the trading card market. Dude,
Hmm.
Pokemon cards have gone through the fucking roof.
Really?
Logan Paul's opening fucking Pokemon cards.
Hmm.
Like a Charizard sold for like $400,000.
Holy shit.
Yeah, like this is real money being made, dude. There's there's
Wow.
there's kids there's fucking kids out there that are literally millionaires now because they started buying Pokemon cards 10 years ago.
That is
And there's and there's
insane.
and there's and there's boxes of fucking Pokemon cards now that are going for hundreds of thousands of dollars for sealed boxes.
That's crazy, man.
Oh, Chris, wow. Yeah. Holy shit, Chris. I can't even believe that. Yeah, that makes me want to vomit to think about how
Mint
much all that stuff is
condition
worth.
original outfit. Wow.
I mean, the alpha stuff is like that's the original stuff, and
Yeah,
none of it
yeah.
survived, and it's all worth money, like insane money. Um, yeah, Corey, but no, so like seriously, I started just like looking back into it a little bit, and I was like, man, I remember having a lot of this stuff as a kid, or like my cousins had it because I didn't have a lot. But yeah, I ended up I bought a couple of cards, and I've already like doubled my money on them. So
Uh, speaking of different kind of cards, but baseball cards. Cody
hmm
Kim Sanity on here. His grandpa, dude, has some legit baseball cards. Like
oh
I'm
yeah,
talking old school shit. And of course he has like the Nolan Ryan rookie cards and stuff like that. But I'm talking like old school, like Mickey Mantle cards.
well, that's what I was gonna
Like,
say. The Mickey Mantle card just reset the record of it's like $4 million or something ridiculous like that now for the most expensive baseball card ever sold. Yeah, see, speaking of, I just got an eBay alert for some Pokemon card that I was watching on eBay because I'm like I don't know enough about it to start really buying stuff, but like I'm mostly just like tracking things to see what is selling for what prices and like what might be an opportunity to make some money. So I don't know. I told
oh
you
man.
I'm into weird stuff, man.
No, everybody's into their own thing, man. Like, if everybody collected the same shit, nothing would be worth anything, you know? Like,
No,
or
no.
if
Well, and
everybody was into the same thing.
I get a kick out of like just seeing the money that people are making off stuff like that. There's like literally these like 26, 27-year-old kids that they're worth millions now, and they're
Yeah.
full-time YouTubers, and it's just crazy. Full-time YouTubers selling fucking Pokemon cards.
So when I was probably I don't remember. It was when eBay was first really getting started.
Yeah,
And
90s.
we were looking at eBay, me and my uncle, and I've told you that like, my aunts and uncles grew up like brothers and sisters to me.
Yeah.
We were real close in age. And we were looking at some of our old toys. And dude, there was this do you know anything you know much about He-Man?
Oh yeah.
You know who Lockjaw is?
hmm
Yeah, so we had the original toy and had all this stuff. And when we were kids, man, we we put bottle rockets on him and like shot him
Oh
across the
yeah.
zip line and like blew his ass up with firecrackers and shit.
Yep.
And looked back, and dude, that thing was worth like 20 grand. And we still had it, like we had
Yeah.
the toy that was all dilapidated. And so when I was little, on Fridays we would go like shopping, and I could always get one $5 toy, when we went like grocery shopping or whatever. And I always got the like the original Ninja Turtle toys because they were $5, and like
Yeah.
my mom would let me get one. And so like I had all the original Ninja Turtles. I had like all the Shredder, and then like for
hmm
Christmas, man, I got like the Technodrome and all that shit. And I still have all those toys. Like, still have every one of them in a the plastic zipper cases that like comforters come in.
Yeah.
Like I've got like those things stuffed full of original Ninja Turtles, and I gave them to my nephew, and then he
Yeah.
gave them to his little brother, man. And like I just love seeing like my toys still getting played with by these kids.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Hey,
because
what's
I
up, Chris
remember
Eaton in the house? I appreciate you, brother. Thanks, Chris.
Chris Eaton, man.
Yeah.
Snakes and the Fat Man.
Yeah, man.
That's
Dude,
awesome.
I'm so annoyed that he only does 2 episodes a month. I'm like, fuck, man, I need more content to listen to. Because I'll tell you, like now that I have the job that I do, where I'm not like able to like sit and watch things, you know, like because my old job was I was sitting at a desk, so even though it was I could do that, I could still have like a video going or whatever, and at least keep up. Um, Dude, now walking around, I can't just listen to the audio of things, you know. So like if I want to go back and rewatch a live, I can only do it when I'm at home, and there's only so many of those I can get through to listen
Yeah.
to. Because I can't just throw YouTube on in my pocket. Like my phone ends up getting tapped, or I need it for work or whatever. So I've been finding I want more stuff available in just straight podcast form. So I want to start probably taking these and ripping the audio from them and throwing them up on some podcast platforms. I want to do the same thing with my Wednesday night stuff.
Man, you know, I actually was kind of thinking the same thing. And what got me thinking about it was Jeremy and Rob, uh, because I had missed one of theirs and like went back and listened to it. And like I was doing that with Joe Rogan, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like because I love the JR. I think everybody fucking loves the JRE, but I
Oh
was
yeah,
on the Joe Rogan wagon back in news radio days. Like I've
yeah,
always loved that dude. But anyway,
yeah.
like I was listening to some of Rob and Jeremy's stuff, and like you know, a lot of the stuff that you and I are doing right here, like you don't need the visual. You know, like
No, and that's what I'm saying.
if
This is
times
nice. Like,
when
yeah, I like it. So, you know, I like it. I like having the option of both.
yeah,
Where, like, because I really enjoy watching Brian and Garrett interact. You know what I mean? So like,
mm-hmm,
there and same thing. Like even with Joe Rogan, I get a lot more from the conversations when I can see people's facial expressions. I can see, you know, the back and forth, the hand gestures, the whatever. Um, it's just that communication is more clear, and I enjoy that aspect. You know, if they want to show something on the screen that bothers me, like I'm so OCD about like, you know what I mean, knowing all the details of what's going on. If they're talking about a video that they just showed on the screen, I'm like, well, I'm completely out of the fucking loop now.
right,
You know, I don't even know what the hell you guys are talking about. So that there's that aspect of it, but I'm coming to appreciate more and more just the audio because there's specifically with like the Pokemon market, I'm like, okay, I want to catch up on kind of what's been going on that I don't know about. So I'm literally just trying to consume information. So I don't need to see everything. I just need to listen to people talk about stuff. And so yeah, just having hours and hours and hours of content to do that, man, I'll burn through 8 hours of content in a day
yeah,
through just
and
audio.
like I'm I'm 100% all for it, man. If you wanna rip the audio off of these and you
Yeah,
know
that's what I'm saying.
see what
I'm definitely going to
happens.
try and do that. I just got to figure out how to. I want to figure out the specifics, and we'll talk about it at some point.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
I think that's huge. And then another thing that was pointed out to me the other day was like apparently we only just recently hit the point where there's a million different podcasts. Like we just surpassed a million not that long ago. That's not
really.
very many when you
No, I would
consider
think that
like
there was way more than that. Like,
yeah. So I think there's a lot of not that I didn't know this already. I already knew there was a lot of opportunity there. Um, but I think I've realized more recently that there's a ton of room in that market. So that's probably something I want to move into and start doing. Um,
Chris,
yeah,
yeah,
Chris,
StreamYard
yeah.
records them.
I was gonna say I think either StreamYard does or I can rip it off of our YouTube channel or one way or another. I did like a very quick Google search the other day when I first started thinking about doing this, and it sounded like it was pretty easy through StreamYard. So yeah,
Yeah, StreamYard records all these, and we went ahead and we pay for the highest level of StreamYard, so we have unlimited amount of recording time.
I think I need to send you money for that, don't I? Sometime soon. I don't know.
It was yesterday or today or something. I don't know,
This fucking guy behind on his bills. All right, I'll send it over.
but it's
But yeah,
automatic, auto draft.
okay, yeah,
I'm not tripping.
yeah. There you go. Yeah, Dustin, exactly, or Dylan, excuse me. I'm fucking losing it. Um, anyways, but yeah, I think the podcasting platform is going to be really big. I think it already is really big, but I think there's still a lot of opportunity.
Yeah,
Corey.
and man, to me, even with like stand up comedy, you know, like there's that little gesture that a comedian will give that delivers the punchline. So I definitely
Yes.
think that there is a necessity for the video, but at the same time, you can put in a Mitch Hedberg album and listen to it and still find it funny.
Oh yeah,
And there,
yeah,
you might miss that one or two things throughout the entire show that he did, but it's
yeah,
still fucking funny. And
yeah.
Jeremy,
Oh, trust me.
we're not gonna turn off all the lights and play "Who's in My Mouth," but later, if you want to play "Tummy Sticks" and "Belly Eaters," we can do that.
Jeremy's always drunk. Yeah. I don't even know what I was about to say.
Yeah, just completely off topic. Uh, so updates on other parts of life. Everything
Yeah.
going good?
Yeah, man, everything's good, you know. I'm hoping to get a route at work soon so that I can start making some more money. I'm ready to do that at any point.
Yeah.
Like all my sales reps that I work with are basically just hounding my district manager every week, like, "Hey, man, you guys need to bump Zach up and give him a route." So it's just a waiting game, you know, for either a route to open up or for them to redo some routes to, you know, split some pieces off, some stores off that I can have to work or whatever. I don't know. So
Aurora, I had to give that a highlight. I love Mitch Hedberg.
Mitch Hedberg, oh yeah, yeah, he's yeah, it was a tremendous loss. That dude was the king of fucking delivery, like the king of
Yeah, man.
delivery.
Absolutely. Probably my favorite stand up ever. Uh,
Yeah, I mean he's up there. He's definitely up there.
but so explain to me exactly how it works because I'm not 100%. So right now, are you just bouncing between routes and stuff,
Yeah,
or
yeah. So I have what they call a route relief position, which is I'm basically a merchandiser. But like for example, yesterday, one of my sales reps that's on my same team. I'm on a team with like I think we've got four sales reps on my team or three sales reps. So I will run their route, say if they're sick or if they have to go out of town or take a day off for whatever reason. So yesterday was the first day. My buddy Mike was out of town, so I ran half his route for the day, and they gave the other half to somebody else. Which was basically I just went in, I worked his truck. So deliveries that would come in, I put all the product out. And then other stores, I was actually writing orders so that they'll have it so that they would have a delivery for this morning for Friday.
right?
So I was just doing his job, and that's fine. But that's the job that I'll ultimately be doing is basically I'll be ordering all the beer for the stores when the trucks get dropped off. You know, I'll between me and the driver, we put all the product on the shelves. It's interesting. I'll just say that it's not really sales. You know what I mean? Like it is
Yeah,
because I'm still having to build relationships to some extent, but like there's only so much I can sell because all the stuff is set by a planogram and
right,
there's only so much product that's going to go on the shelf. There's only so much that's going to move.
right.
I can't convince them to start carrying a new product because it's Harris Teeter. Like they carry whatever corporate tells them to carry.
Yeah,
So it's weird. Like I said, the world's just everything's weird with my whole industry because of COVID. You know, so like because when I was hired on, the intention was for them to have me selling to bars, which is more in line with you know what I enjoyed, and it was more sales involved because it's you can sell as much as you want because you can open
yeah.
as many accounts as you want all over the state. You know what I mean? So there's no end to what you can do. With this, it's a
So
little more like still a cap on how much money you're going to make, you know, and
is
I
it
don't like
is
that.
it a commission based thing though? Like, will you make commission?
But you can't bump your numbers up. You see what I'm saying? Because it's
I
just
got
like
you. So
this store
it's
this
almost
store
like
carries
factoring.
these carry yeah it's basic it's basically salary with like a little bit of a you know an asterisk by it because okay I'm getting a commission yes but that
Hi
commission is
Brian, hi
basically
Hillary.
stagnant because the stores aren't selling more from one month to the next. You know, it's a $400,000 account is a $400,000 account,
Right.
and so you know, and not that we have any of those, but they're you know, I get a base salary which is X, which isn't crazy, and then I get 1% of sales
Okay.
to the stores. So you know, if it's $1,000 order, I get 1% of that, which is not very much, but you know, $10.
It makes sense.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, for right now, I'm happy to have a job, and I do enjoy the industry. I like learning the ins and outs of things, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much you know about something if you're at the ground level position of a company. You can't have an effect on the business. It's just frustrating. I just don't like being at the bottom of things. Going from management and like having in control and making decisions to being the bottom guy on the totem pole that's just like, what do you guys need? How can I help you? I hate it. It sucks. So it doesn't make me happy when I wake up every day. I'll put it that way. But like I said, my bills are paid. So what can you do? If my boss is watching this, sorry. I'm still happy to come to work because I need that paycheck. But you know, I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, so it's all good as far as that. I that's why I try, I focus so much on the animals, man, because it makes me so much happier. This doing this stuff here, makes me so much happier, and I feel like it's a lot better expenditure of my time, and my talents for whatever. So I'm excited to, start producing some snakes within the next year that are actually going to start paying me some money, and you know allow me to start making some other moves. I want to start making money in some other way besides having to go to work for somebody. You know what I mean?
I definitely understand that. I want to get in on the comments right here. So
Yeah.
yeah, guys, I'm definitely in for Cards Against Humanity tonight too. Uh, I'll jump in that. Zach, you gonna jump in that too?
For tonight?
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah.
everybody's after the stream. They're talking about playing Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, I can do that. I saw Jamie was asking if my snake shed out, and yeah, just like we were talking about the other night. So this is going to be super fuzzy, I'm sure, but she did shed out. Bradley,
Yeah,
you'll at
man.
least
So
be able to see her really good.
let's get on to our reptile projects. We know you got that new animal. For people who don't know what all you got right there, let everybody know what you got.
Yeah, so she is a Mojave leopard Krypton 100% het ultramale. So for those that don't know, Krypton is the allelic visual that you get when you have a animal that's both het clown and het cryptic. So she is a Mojave leopard, het clown, het cryptic, het ultramale. The plan right now is obviously raise her up, but then at at the very least by then I'll have a pastel pastel clown het ultramale male. So literally all their babies, because of the way that the Krypton stuff works, all of their babies will have to be either clown or more Kryptons. So there's no way to get anything that's not visual, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'll
that's
have a shot at leopard pastavi ultramel clowns and leopard pastavi ultra Kryptons. So yeah, that should be a really fun project, and that's just the
do
male that I
you
have right now. So.
you have anything pairing right now?
No, I don't have anything pairing now. All I've got is that girl that she was just locked up. That same freaking girl that I'm still hoping is going to go because she's giving me all the signs, and I paired her up again, and they locked right up. So I'm freaking hoping that she's going to give me some eggs. But yeah, all signs still look good. She's still putting on size, but she did finally start refusing food, so that's good. So like I said, I'm hoping that she's going to go, and that to remind everybody, that's that fire yellow belly spot nose het ultramel that was bred to my Mojave ultramel. So Mojave fire yellow belly spot nose ultramels, and everything in between. Um, so yeah, I was telling somebody like that's super exciting because like I hadn't thought about it till recently that like the male, whatever male, like there could be a male in there that's like my next breeder male, to like carry that project on and move forward with. So that's kind of cool that I'm, actually getting close to like, hey, like something I produced is something that I'm actually going to be like putting back in my projects. So that's exciting.
Yeah, man. That's it's always cool when you see things going into fruition, you know, and you know that that possibility's coming together. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah. It's all that work that you put in. You finally, it's just like the first time I had eggs, the first time I saw babies pipping out of those eggs. Like, those are all those like those milestones. That like really kind of are just validating, and like it's just confirmation that like you're on the right track. You're doing things well, and making the right moves. So have a good
so.
one, Chris. I appreciate you, brother. What
Yeah,
you got?
thanks so much, Chris. Uh, I've got this one is going with GHI lesser hypo,
Okay,
and
and what is that again?
this is a super Mojave black pastel het
Okay.
hypo. So what I want is the GHI black pastel Mojave hypos.
Man, I love the Mojave GHI stuff.
Yeah, man.
All the Mojave GHI stuff is great. Um, so there's somebody I think is one of sorry, I was actually just checking on one of these snakes. Somebody's like pushing and trying to get out. I can hear them squeaking on the sides of the enclosure. Of course, it's this girl. Um, but yeah, somebody's working on Mojave GHI Ultramels.
Really?
Yeah, which I
I
thought was
haven't
pretty
seen
cool.
that.
I haven't seen them
Have you
either.
seen one?
Mm-mm. I don't. I'm sure they've been made. I would think because Mojave's been in Australia for so long.
Right.
But if not, I'm excited to see them just because Mojave GHIs they're so dark, and I like the dark stuff with Ultramel. So we'll see.
I know that this pairing is gonna mess around and make some more bells because the GHI is GHI lesser,
Yeah,
but I'm hoping that I can get a couple doses without the lesser and
yeah,
get the because everything coming out of this snake is obviously going to be Mojave, everything.
yeah.
So I'm
And is
hoping that I
is
can
that
get
snake's
the
head like gray, or is
it's
that just the lighting?
no, with the when you get bells that are super Mojave bells,
Yeah,
they have that grayish, almost purplish in their head, and they have this eye stripe
yeah.
right here on the side of their eye. It's almost like purplish.
I guess I've just
And it,
never really looked at too many of them.
yeah, it's something that comes with the super Mojave bells. Like if you get the like a lesser Mojave, you won't get
Yeah,
it as much, or lesser, or when you start getting the Russo stuff in there, you don't really get the purpling on the head. But
yeah. I like it
when
though.
when you go with the
It does
super
that kind of in
Mojave,
pieds too.
yeah, and I don't know if I can get her in focus to where you can actually see that. But yeah, you see the eye band right there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
That's pretty. I like that, especially on an all white snake. I like just that little bit of some contrast just on the head stamp. That's
yeah,
pretty
man.
cool.
And that's one of the reasons I think in the pods I like the spides, the spider pods, because they're almost all white and then they have their head stamp. And I
Yeah,
think I've always thought the spides were cool.
Kayla, the Bazinga is doing well. Sorry, I saw your question earlier. I just forgot the answer. The Bazinga ball's doing great. Yeah, getting fat and no issues. All the babies are doing well. Um, that new girl hasn't eaten for me yet, but again, she just shed, so I'll probably try to feed her either tonight or tomorrow, depending. Um, so yeah, everybody's doing good. Like I said, all the babies are eating. Everybody's good. I think hopefully a few of them will start getting shipped out soon whenever the weather decides to start getting warm again.
Uh
So
so, you know, I've I think I've made it clear to everybody at this point that I'm not really gonna invest in ball pythons anymore. That I'm leaning more towards building up my collection for birthday parties, shows, educational events, library, stuff like that. And so Katie and I have been talking, and I think I have decided on what our next purchase is going to be.
uh oh.
Yeah, I think I'm going with the Apodora papuana.
Okay.
Yeah, man. After hanging out with the one that nerd had, and
Yeah.
the, I just fell in love with that animal. And dude, those things are so strong.
What's
Like
the
they're
common name for them
insanely
again?
strong. It's an olive python.
Olive pythons.
Yeah, and like pound for pound, that may have been like the strongest snake I've ever messed with. Like it wasn't just huge and girthy, and it was probably 6.5, 7 foot. But dude, that
Yeah.
thing was so strong. It was awesome.
Yeah,
And
I
like I
remember you
just,
telling me it was pretty intense.
yeah, like I just instantly fell in love with it. And I mean, like, of course, the Bolins, the Bolin eye are badass, but I don't think I would buy one. Like, even if I had the money, like, I don't think I would buy one because I would want to breed them. I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to separate them. Like I would want to have 1.1, and I just don't think that as far as breeding that I'm at the level right now to breed that species. If people are struggling with it like they are, like I feel like I should leave that to more seasoned
Yeah, but
hands.
that doesn't mean anything, man. Um, I mean, no, I don't think that means anything at all. Because I mean, there's always going to be things that those guys just aren't. Sometimes, like the amateur coming in and starting to do something is better because we don't know anything yet, and so we'll try stuff that maybe they won't because they think that, oh well, that's I've already tried that before and it didn't work, or you know what I mean. Like we just always new people to come in and a lot of times just bring a different thought process to things. So sometimes that you can be more successful if you know less. You know what I mean?
I
Because you won't
mean,
get in your own way.
I see that, and that's definitely a good way to think about things, man. Like, you know, that's a positive mindset, and I think everybody in here has heard us talk enough about positivity being where we're striving to go. And
Yeah, man.
what we're trying to do.
That's the only thing worth investing your time in.
Yeah, you're definitely right,
Yeah.
Jeremy. And speaking of which, man, speaking of helpers bringing in a new set of eyes, so we have at work we have a guy that is running a loader for me, and he really hasn't been an operator for very long at all, and he's very green, and it's interesting to me to see his thoughts and his ideas on stuff that is almost like second nature to me. I've been doing it for so long and been around it, and this guy comes in with a whole new idea, and some of it works, most of it doesn't, but it's just it's cool to me to see that.
Yeah.
Brian
Well, that
Farley and Kathy, Reptile Revival, man, great to see you guys here. Great to see you
absolutely.
guys.
Hope you guys are doing well.
Man, reach out to me, guys. I'm sorry that I haven't talked to you guys enough
You've
lately.
got their damn number. They don't need to
I
reach out to you.
No, that's what I'm saying. I get so sidetracked and I've been so busy with work and everything. I haven't talked to
You have been
shit.
busy as shit.
I haven't
Yeah.
talked to
Yeah.
you, man.
Yeah, I know. Well,
Like,
and that's
I,
yeah, that for anybody kind of curious, that's part of why we don't have a guest this week because like Bradley most of the time is the one that does a lot of the legwork on like finding us guests and like kind of figuring out who we're going to have on. Just because between the two of us, I just I don't know. That's just who ended up doing it. And so this week
well,
his phone kind of crapped out on him, and we were both just kind of like in a weird place with work and everything, so it just didn't happen. But I think it worked out, and I think it's been nice, at least in my opinion, just to kind of have us, kind of catch up with one another, anyways.
and to just so everybody, you know, a little behind the scenes of connected by creatures, like all the thumbnails, all that stuff, that's Zach. Like Zach does all that. Uh, for the most part, we talk about like we have a talk session of who we're interested in having as a guest and who we want as a guest. And most of the time, it just works out that I'll reach out to them, and but it's 100% 50-50. Like I can't say enough that I wouldn't pick anybody over Zach. Like I'm happy that we decided to do this together.
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it. Like, I just think it just worked out well. I got no complaints at all, other than the snake not wanting to sit still. Um,
No, man. Mindy said I talked to her this week. Yeah, I talked to everybody pretty much at the same time. I had shattered my
yeah,
phone, and I've been working crazy hours this past week. Well, past 2 weeks, I've been working a shitload of hours, and I hadn't had time to get my phone fixed. And when I finally
yeah.
made
Katie
it,
ended up having to take it for you, didn't you? Didn't she?
yeah, yeah. And when I finally made it and got my phone fixed and everything, I had probably 50 something text messages, and that's not. I mean, 50 people, like not
Yeah,
individual, like a ton of people, and like it's funny, and I feel bad about it because people that I'm close to, like my close friend, like Zach and Brian Cusco, and they wound up having to reach out to Katie to find out if
yeah.
I was even okay.
We thought
And
Katie might have killed him.
yeah, and it, I hate being like that, especially with I just launched the website and people are ordering stuff, and I had shipments going out and deliveries, and
Oh yeah,
man, it was the worst possible time for everything that happened to happen, but it's all worked out now. And uh you know thank you guys so much, the people who have stopped by the website and done that kind of stuff. And Mindy and Tom, I definitely want to give you guys a huge shout out. And you guys, I talked to you last night, and I stand by everything that I said to you guys in private last night, and with Brian Farley, and Kathy and them ordering stuff, which I kind of want to segue that into the giveaway. Zach, what do you think?
yeah, man. Let's go for it.
So I don't know if you guys heard uh, on or on my Instagram story and Facebook story. Uh, I am gonna do a wrapped around reptiles T-shirt giveaway tonight. Uh, Whoever wins, just reach out to me, and I'm gonna send you a discount code, and you can pick whatever shirt you want, and it'll be 100% free. You'll just pay the shipping. Uh, so, Zach, if you want to text me a state, we'll play the state game again.
All right, give me 2 seconds.
Nobody start typing your states in yet.
All right.
And this is
State game.
yeah, this is gonna be, if you guys, it's not just one answer. Like you can type in multiple states. It's just whoever
Yeah.
gets the right state first.
Kayla only knows 5. Well, you got a minute because I'm still trying to think up a state. I'm gonna try to go. I gotta make sure I'm doing something different and like not obvious.
Yeah, man.
Although even me saying that just makes you guys still have a better idea of what I might be going with, I guess. Anyways, the way this works, so I'll type down in the chat whenever we're ready for you guys to start guessing. You can type as many states as you want. Technically, like there's no limit to the number of guesses,
Yeah.
and we'll just have you guys keep going until you guess the state that I decide. I'm going to text Bradley that state before we start, so that way he can verify that he sees, the same person that I do type it in first. Sometimes it will show that somebody else got it first or whatever on your screen, and we're just going to go by what we see because that's all we can do. So,
And
anyways, go
I'm
ahead.
gonna go ahead and nominate Jeremy to clarify.
Okay. Hmm. All right, let's go with this one. All right, I just messaged you, Bradley. Let me know when you got it, and then I will let everybody know to guess.
Did you text it or send it Facebook Messenger?
IG, neither.
Neither. All right, I got it.
All right, you got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now who's verifying this? Jeremy's going to verify
Jeremy,
this.
keep guessing, guys.
Did you text it to Jeremy then? I guess.
No, just when we give the answer, he can go back.
I mean, it
But
should
I
be
think,
pretty obvious.
yeah, I think it'll be obvious. I see a lot of states, guys, but I don't see the
I
right one.
know. I can't believe how long this is still going. Although it is like the last state that popped into my head. I was like, I haven't even thought about that state in a minute.
Keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming.
This is amazing.
I love it,
Everybody
man.
else
This is
obviously
awesome.
has forgotten that this state existed too. I
How
feel
long
like
has this been, man?
it's been a moment.
I love it. Keep it going. Keep
Somebody
it
needs to
going.
pull up a map of the United States and just start getting there. It is.
There, Aurora. Aurora got it. Wyoming, guys.
It was Wyoming.
Aurora.
Jeremy or whoever wants to double check it, but it should have been pretty obvious. Nobody else had guessed it for
Yeah.
a while there. Awesome.
You got Aurora too, Zach?
Yeah, Aurora for sure.
Uh, Aurora, I'll send you a discount code through Discord, through Cusco's Discord. I'll send you a private message and whatever shirt you want, you guys or go ahead and like I said, it'll just be the shipping. And you just go to www.wrapedaroundreptiles.com and click on the catalog and whatever shirt you want to grab. The
Jeremy, I don't
discount code
believe
will be
you.
good.
Jeremy's trying to say that he put it a long time
Oh,
ago.
Jeremy's full of shit.
He's definitely full of shit.
Yeah, awesome. That's fun.
Okay.
Man.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, that was
congrats
great.
on the merch, by the way. The website looks good. It seems to function well. I still need to put my order in. I'm not kidding. Like, dude, I can send a text. Like, I've gotten where I can send a text and then fall asleep, like, almost immediately.
Yeah, I know you did that to me earlier.
I know. Dude, I'm telling you, since I guess, because, like, I'm saying, I think I'm finally starting to see some effects of the whole quitting drinking thing. I think I've been sleeping a lot better. I don't know. It's that or it's the depression. It makes sleeping really easy sometimes. But I think it's mostly the having quit drinking. I did have to drink for work the other day. I will admit I had to have some I had to sample some new seltzers that we have coming out. They're not bad. I don't like seltzers, like Trulies and White Claws and all that shit, but
No.
Founders has some new seltzers coming out if anybody's into those. They're actually pretty good. I was surprised. They have a strawberry flavor. It's pretty delicious.
Yeah, Mindy, your orders, your kids' orders in transit. It's already been produced and shipped out, so it should be here soon.
Yeah, how does that work, Bradley? Like, do you have to like go in and push orders through or do any kind of processing on your end, or is it pretty much all right there?
I just had a hellacious Charlie horse in my leg.
You're good.
Yeah, so basically I design whatever products I want to design.
Yeah.
And I go through certain vendors. I have backup vendors. So if there's an issue to where I chose the certain people that the certain vendors I chose purposefully. I looked
Yeah.
at their ratings. I looked at everything that I could, and then I talked to about if there's issues, yada yada yada. But I also chose backup vendors,
Yeah.
which
Yeah, because I
is
saw how it all works through Printify. I just didn't know if like what happened when you get an order, like if there was
okay.
something you had to
So
actually do,
it
or if it
depends.
literally just sends it straight to them.
Well, it depends on like I enabled the express payout, which you
Hmm.
can pay with PayPal or Apple Pay or whatever. And if you pay through PayPal, it directly sends the money to my PayPal, and
Hmm.
then I fulfill the order. If you pay with a credit card, I basically all I do is I look through the orders and make sure that who will be available to fulfill the order as promptly as possible, and push the order through, and
Gotcha.
then uh, basically they take care of all the fabrication and the shipping and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
My part of it is communicating from the customer to the vendor,
Right.
and
To
just
yeah, as to who actually is the one that
yeah,
fulfills the
just a
order or
full
whatever.
and
No, that makes
like
sense.
so. I'm not sure why, but my my sister ordered a hoodie,
Right.
and the day that she ordered it, I had two other people order hoodies, and the two other people got their hoodies from my chosen vendor,
Hmm.
and they're no issues, shipped out. My sister's got pushed off to a backup vendor, and
Hmm.
it wound up being delayed like 5 days.
Hmm.
And not only did it delay 5 days, the cost changed. And
Hmm.
I went through and I asked a bunch of people. I sent the I sent Printify messages, and I talked to their
Yeah.
customer service, and I asked the question, and basically what they told me was within 30 minutes to an hour, a certain place can get so many orders that they'll be like overbooked, and they'll automatically push orders to their sub vendors, who they
I
subcontract out
gotcha.
to. And
Okay.
2 hours
Okay.
later, that product may be available from it's just
Yeah.
it's like a queue, and when the queue gets
Yeah.
too filled up, it
Hmm.
kicks to somebody else.
Interesting.
Yeah,
No, that
but
makes sense.
there's a there's several different ways to go about print on demand, though.
Oh,
Like, I
I
mean,
know.
there,
Yeah, that's
there's
why
there's a ton of ways to do it.
I like the Printify just because the cost wasn't nearly as high, so the profitability was still pretty reasonable. Because all the other platforms that I've seen, you're not. I mean, not that I'm in anything to make money, but I mean, if it's my
Right.
brand and I'm the one that's promoting it and I'm the reason that people are
a
buying it, I
hundred
don't see why
percent.
I shouldn't be getting more of the money than just the people that happen to print it. So,
And
um,
honestly, the
because yeah,
thing that
most places it's like in order for me to make $5 off a shirt, I'd have to charge 25. It's like that's
well,
insane.
yeah, and the thing that I like about Printify is you have full control of your profit margin. You have full
Right.
control, and so
Well,
uh,
and there's actually profit margin because, like I said,
right,
most of those
right,
other ones that I've looked at, you were talking $18 to $19 for
yeah,
a quality like a next level shirt or something like that. Which print that's the only complaint I did have is Printify doesn't have they don't have the full line of next level shirts. They've only got the lower end of the next level line, but they do have Bella Canvas.
right.
And Bella Canvas are actually they're American made and American dyed, I think, if I remember correctly. And so they're apparently very comparable, but they're actually a little bit less expensive. So, and I have had some Bella Canvas shirts. So I think they've got a Bella Canvas that's similar to what Kabelka uses through Next Level. So that's probably what I'll do. I don't know do you know what yours are? Because I know
Pretty
there's a ton
sure.
of them on there.
Yeah. Man. I'd have to look back because I have different options. Like
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I know you've got 2 or 3 different shirt choices on
yeah,
there. So
like
yeah,
the just the wrapped around reptiles logo unisex shirts, like that's going to be a different quality of shirt than the My Life is War wrapped around reptile shirt. Like those are the
yeah,
soft style, like those are a higher quality shirt. uh and the reason I did that is like I've had that idea and everybody's heard me talk about that idea for the My Life is War shirt. You know, that
yeah,
was one of my first ideas when I chose the name wrapped around reptiles.
right.
Like I wanted to do that, but you know, I just wanted to make that a better quality, you know, and then I wanted to make something that was affordable for everybody
Well, and
to
that's what I was
just
gonna
grab
say.
a
It's nice
shirt,
to have
you
that.
know.
Yeah, yeah. It's nice to have that less expensive option for sure.
And like like I was saying, I I like the fact that not only can I control the profit margins, but I can make it individual for each variable. So like when I first designed the hoodies and I was, you know, put the hoodies out, I thought it was insane that small, medium, large, and 3X were one price, but extra large and 2X were almost double that price.
That's weird.
And well, those were the most commonly ordered sizes for the hoodies. And
Oh, okay,
so
I gotcha.
they
Yeah,
had it
the
to where
margins.
if I had the same profit margin for each one of those sizes, that I was winding up charging like $50 for a hoodie, and I refused to do that.
Yeah,
So
no,
I
that's too
just went
much.
across the board and made the hoodies a single price. And
Right.
so from small to 3X, they're all the same price. And I did that with all my shirts too. And
Gotcha.
all of my, like my kids' shirts, toddler shirt, baby clothes,
Yeah.
all that shit. I did the same thing. I made a flat rate because uh, I'll, I'm not trying to make money off of people. Like you know,
Yeah.
I'm fucking stoked that somebody is, you know, willing to represent my brand. Like,
Yeah.
and I think that's just badass that somebody would want to, you know, represent me like that
For sure.
and represent what, you know, my family's doing, represent me, Katie and Lainey, and, you know, like that. I
Yeah.
think that's fucking awesome. And I'm super appreciative. So I'm not trying to, you know, bump up numbers, but so what I've got is the 2X and XL shirts. Like I'm not making anything
Yeah, you're
off of
making
them.
like zero. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, legitimately, I think I make $1.32 on
Yeah.
the XL. You know, but like I said, I don't. I'm not worried about making money. It's more of a promotion thing to me. Like I want,
Yeah.
and man, I've thrown discount codes out to everybody. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, and we've
uh,
talked about that. Like like even, guys like Kabilka and those guys. I mean, a lot of those guys are selling merch at a loss,
yeah,
just to have it
yeah,
out there and just to have kind of the free advertising, if you will.
yeah, for
Which
sure.
makes a lot of sense, if you're especially at that level. So I agree. I mean, if you can break even at this point, or maybe just make a buck or two to cover you for your website fees and all that stuff,
Yeah,
that's
and
all
man,
I can really ask for.
really, I'm like, I just think it's, I think me personally, I think my logo is cool. And like
Yeah,
if I saw the logo on a t-shirt and it wasn't mine, like I would think that was a cool shirt and I would buy the shirt. So, you know.
yeah,
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 Dylan,
for sure.
man, holler at me. Hit me up. I'll we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
I'll tell
Bradley
you
will
everything
teach you
that
how
I
to stay up till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning building a
shit.
website and then
It
going
was
straight
like
to work.
7 o'clock the next morning.
Yeah, it was because I think it was that on a weekend because I
Yeah, it was on a
remember
Sunday.
I woke
I'd
up and
I'd gotten
like
off
you had
work.
texted me already.
Yeah, and I couldn't sleep, man. And my brain was just on one of those hyper
Yeah,
trips.
Yeah,
And like
because I
I had
woke
been
up and had
meaning,
text from you, and you were like, "Hey man, check out my website. I just finished
yeah.
it." I'm like, "Dude, it's like
Well,
7 o'clock in the fucking morning."
what's crazy is I bought that domain name a year ago,
Yeah, yeah, I've
and
had mine for a long time now. I still
basically
haven't done anything with it.
I bought the domain name strictly because I didn't want anybody else to have it. You know, like that's
Yeah, that's
mine,
what I
damn
did
it.
too.
And
Hmm.
when I first even made my Instagram, my Wrapped Around Reptiles Instagram page and Facebook page, like, you know, I made sure I searched as far as I could to see if there was anybody else using that. And nobody was using it. So I instantly
Hmm.
went and bought the domain name because, you know, that's mine. You know, I'm super proud of that. I think it's catchy. I think it's cool. I think whenever this coronavirus bullshit goes away and I get to actually interact with people and do libraries and schools and Boy Scout events and get back
Yeah,
into that kind of stuff, birthday parties, that I love the phrase, you know, we can make any event just like our lives wrapped around reptiles. And that was the seller to me when I came up with the logo and
yeah,
the brand name. And yeah, man, so it's super cheap, guys, to buy your domain name. Like you go to godaddy.com
yeah, yeah,
and and there's other ones, but GoDaddy's super easy. You can buy your domain and like it's it's super cheap. Like I
yeah.
think
It's
I
like
bought
five,
it
five, ten
mine.
bucks, something like that.
Yeah, I bought mine for like 5 years. I paid for it for like 5 years and it was less than
Yeah,
$20. Like
yeah.
it's super cheap to have your own domain. Uh Zach, man, let's roll into our weekly categories. Let's kick off the music, man. Who's your musical artist of the week?
Oh shit, who was my artist? I just was prepping for this a few minutes ago because I had to think back because I've been listening to nothing but fucking podcasts literally every fucking day. Um, but I was just listening to. I know I said Nathaniel Rateliff last week, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Who was I just fucking listening to? Hmm. Oh, I was gonna say Black Sabbath, man. I was listening to some Black Sabbath the other morning. Just
Fuck yeah.
yeah, just taking it back, and yeah, like I remember my dad talking about Black Sabbath when I was in like middle school, maybe, and I had heard of them or whatever, and I knew who Ozzy was and all that, but I think he bought me a CD of their first album, and man, I was just fucking sold right away, like that was it. So I don't know. I just remember that, and that's still like one of my favorite albums of all time to just throw on, just listen to everything, like Fairies Wear Boots and just
Yeah,
all that,
dude.
just craziness, and like they've got a song on that album that's like those three chords that like in medieval times were like literally like banned, like you weren't allowed to play them,
Yeah, man.
consecutively
And
because it was thought to summon the devil, and they're like,
fuck
oh, and
yeah,
we're
it's
gonna
that
write an
chords,
entire
that
song that's
triad.
nothing but that chord, that triad,
Yeah.
yeah. We're gonna do it for the whole song, and just
Fuck
like
yeah.
yeah, like I wrote a paper on Black Sabbath when I was in college, like, and I used it for like two or three different classes. I used it for like an argumentative writing class, and then I used it for I don't even remember what the other one was. Oh, for my music appreciation class. So yeah, they're a good one, obviously.
I love
How
it.
about yourself? What's your music of the week?
Man, you just changed my whole plan.
I
I
know,
was
fucked
going
y'all
one
up.
direction, but not the band One Direction.
Yeah.
I was going
I'm
in this
gonna need somebody to
direction,
grab that audio so that
and
we can play this back later.
but I mean, I have to say Led Zeppelin now,
Okay.
and it's almost the exact same thing. Like I remember my parents, man, my dad, he loved Led Zeppelin, and he had the Led Zeppelin 4 vinyl sat
Yeah.
up above this little thing that he had in like his little area, my dad's little area where he drank his whiskey and all that shit.
Yeah.
And like they had a Led Zeppelin 4 album that was still in plastic, man. Like it was still right there.
Yeah.
And I remember being a kid and listening, to Whole Lot of Love, uh, and then as I got older and I started like looking into Led Zeppelin more, man, and like
Yeah,
really getting into Led Zeppelin, like, John Bonham was ridiculous, and still to
yeah,
this day people can't recreate John Bonham's sound. And you know Jimmy Page is a legend, and there's Robert Plant's arguably the greatest frontman of all time. Like,
yeah,
there's not many people that I can even compare to the frontman that Robert Plant is. And I mean, even dude, and Cusco's talking about it, and like you can ask Brian when he got to the hotel in Boston. I had Robert Plant stuck in my head, and like it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting there making Brian listen to Ship of Fools, and and he was like, I hadn't
yeah,
heard this song in forever. And Led Zeppelin's just one of those bands, man, that if you just sit down, shut up, and close your eyes and turn
yeah,
that shit up, like you're gonna learn something about yourself. You're gonna learn something about the world. Like,
yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I Led Zeppelin. That I've said this story before, I think. But the first time I took mushrooms, um, the song "No Quarter" came on, like right as like me and my buddy kind of started to to feel it. "No Quarter" comes on, and I was just like, I had chills, dude, like absolute goosebumps all over from that song. Like for anybody that's not aware, like it's got like this really slow, like creepy lead in, and just the pace of that song and the way that it builds, like a lot, like a lot of their songs do, like where it starts out and then there's just a constant build throughout the entire song. It's man, yeah. So that now that song still like has a strange effect on me every time I hear it. But
Man,
yeah, all their music is just amazing.
even the songs like Fool in the Rain. Like, I love Fool in the Rain,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
That's just one of those songs. It's it's not the same as like Led Zeppelin 1, Led Zeppelin 2. Like, it's got a whole other feel to it, and it still just grabs you and pulls you in the same way that Black Dog does. Just, you know,
hmm
I, yeah, man. Fucking Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin. This is gonna be a hard
yeah.
night to top as far as music artists. You
Yeah,
know,
dude, have you listened to speaking of Led Zeppelin, not to directly compare them, but you can't not.
Greta
Have you
Von
heard
Fleet.
these guys, Greta Von Fleet? Yeah.
Yeah,
They're good, man. I'm not gonna lie. They're
I
good.
actually heard, and it may have even been you that told me that or it might have been Cusco, that the Greta Von Fleet guy said that he's not even really influenced by Robert Plant, that he was more influenced by somebody else. Brian, you're in the chat right now. Did you tell me that the Greta Von Fleet guy said that it wasn't Robert
Robert
Plant his
Plant.
biggest influence?
I don't think it was me that told you that, but I just remember Robert Plant was in an interview, and he was the one that brought them up, I think, because they were asking him like maybe it's something he had listened to lately or something he'd heard, and he mentioned Greta Van Fleet, and he said something along the lines of, he's like, yeah, and this young man's got this voice. He's like, I don't know where he got that voice from. I don't know where he got that sound from.
Yeah,
And yeah,
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 Steven
exactly.
Tyler.
Like,
I knew I knew
but
it
the
was
way
one
that
of
he
you two.
said it, yeah, the way that he said it was almost like fuck this kid kind of a way, like like I couldn't tell 100%, but because he was kind of smirking about it, but it also kind of sounded like fuck this young motherfucker that's
Exactly.
literally
Yeah.
is a copy of me. So yeah, like I was and that's kind of how I felt initially. I was like, man, I'm a little torn on this because it's just like you're a clear like rip off of like of this guy who you'll never have a percentage of the talent of. But I
But I
don't know,
mean,
their music's not terrible. I mean, it's good.
yeah, I've listened to some of their stuff. It's not
Yeah,
bad, but
yeah.
at the same time, man, like, you got to be self-aware enough to know that
Well,
everybody
just be
that's listening,
respectful.
That's where I was going with it. Like
Yeah,
everybody is, it sees the similarity and sees what you're doing. Like at least give respect to the people that you're basically, plagiarism is the highest form of flattery. So
yeah, for sure. Just don't be a dick. As with most things in life, the rules are pretty simple. Don't be a dick, and everything
yeah,
else will be
don't
fine.
be a dick, man. It's all
Oh
good.
man. So let's roll from music. Let's I guess we'll talk about our animal of the week, reptile of the week.
Yeah, it was your choice this week, man.
Yeah. So I went.
Brian,
I
Brian,
went.
Brian, man, that's a bold statement. Say Hendrix is the greatest guitar
That
player of
is
all time.
that is a pretty
I
bold
love you,
statement.
brother, but we might have to argue.
I'll let you two fight it out.
Yeah, but
Um.
that's for a different time, Brian. That's for when you're
Uh,
on Connected by Creatures.
yeah. Hell, send them the link. Let's get them in here. Um. But yeah. So my reptile of the week for this week was the Egyptian tortoise. I've talked about them briefly before, but I couldn't remember like exactly which tortoise it was. But I just knew they were like one of the smallest ones. And yeah, so I dug it back out again tonight, and it's the Egyptian tortoise. They like the max length of like a big female is like 8 inches long. They're not very big at all.
Yeah,
And so and you know I had seen him in videos before, and literally the guy's like, yeah, this is my breeder male, like proven breeder male, and it was a 3-year-old tortoise, and it's literally like the palm of his hand. Like the babies are like chicken nugget size. They're just tiny.
uh,
Um,
am I mistaken? Is an Egyptian tortoise and a Lath's tortoise the same thing? Like,
I don't remember. I know that there's a few different species of them that are kind of like really, really close, but I don't know about that one in particular.
like I might be mixing this up, but I think there's like two or three different names.
Yeah,
Eh,
there always are. Because in fact, I think there's also like a Greek tortoise that's like almost like once again is almost the same thing as like the Egyptians, but there's just like different localities of like a certain, yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm
Yeah,
not a tortoise expert. I just like these particular ones because it's like the same as like super dwarf retic, right? Like it's
right.
easier for the average person to keep them because they don't get gigantic, and for something that lives over 100 years or can live over 100 years, it's nice to have something that's a little more convenient for the average person to keep. And I just think they're freaking cool, man. Because you can literally keep those things like on a tortoise table in your house year
That's
round
badass.
for their whole lives.
Yeah,
And the enclosures that I see for them are super cool too. And I think that's what like gets me into them even more because the enclosures look like almost like dioramas. Like in my head, I picture like the big like built out things people have for their trains, the train tracks in their house. But it's like that, but it's a tortoise table with like all these plants and different like grasses and platforms and like rocks and stuff like that. But then there's just these little like fucking dinosaurs, and it's just in your house. I just think it's neat. All the enclosures and stuff that I've seen have just been pretty amazing. Um, and I just yeah, one day I would like to have some of those. They are an endangered species, but they're legal to own as long as obviously they're captive bred. And there's a few people in the U.S. that work with them, so they're not cheap. They only produce like 2 or 3 eggs at the most at a time, I guess. And so obviously it takes a long time to breed these things. So they're freaking cool.
so I got a comment on the comments. Uh, Jeremy Hendrix not overrated at all. I can't say that I think he's the greatest, but by no means overrated. Like he's fucking amazing. Like that guy, he just has music coming out of places people don't have music coming out of. He'll hit the wrong note and make it the
Bend
right
it.
note. Like
Yeah.
Hendrix is a god. Like by no means was I trying to discredit Hendrix when I said that me and Cusco were going to argue about that. Like Hendrix is insane, and no way Stevie Ray Vaughan better than Hendrix. There would be no Stevie Ray Vaughan without Hendrix. But anyway, so let's roll on into our movies of the week, Zach.
Oh shit. What was the show? It's not a movie, but there's a show that I've been watching that's really interesting, and it's on Amazon. Come back to me in a second, and I'll tell you. Unless you don't have yours, in which case,
Oh, I'm ready.
well, let's go. Go with yours first.
Uh, so mine is gonna tie into my movie Rad, and
Yes.
it's the other side of that. It's thrashing. So
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember. I do
you
remember that one.
you had Rad, that was the BMX tricks, the bicycle race, the backflip. On the other side of that coin, you had thrashing, and thrashing was hooking the daggers. You had the valleys versus the hardcore kids, the daggers, and like that was just my shit, man. Like I
Yeah,
loved skateboarding and BMX, and like I loved that stuff. And my I've already got my movie for next week, which ties into the same thing. And like these are just movies that I've watched a billion times, man. Like I couldn't tell you how many times I've seen Thrashing, like that, or Rad more than
yeah.
Thrashing. But oh, Victor Wooten is up there. But yeah, man, Thrashing definitely my movie of the week. And if you haven't seen Thrashing, guys, check it out. Like Thrashing's the shit, and Rad's the shit. But Thrashing, what you got,
Ooh,
Zach?
I just remembered. I have a better one. Is something like I actually genuinely have to look up because it's gonna. It's never mind. I remember what it's called. So there's it was a documentary, and what's the freaking guy's name? Damn it.
Jerome just gleaming the cube. Yeah, that was gonna be my movie next week, man. Gleaming the cube's
Oh
the
yeah,
shit.
Gleaming the Cube.
Fucking Christian Slater and Tony Hawk. Rodney Mullen does all the tricks on the flatland and the fucking construction site. Gleaming
Yeah.
the cube.
Yes. So it was Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor. So Ewan McGregor, for those who don't know, like he's the one that played what's his name in Star Wars,
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor. He had like this lifelong goal to do a trip on a motorcycle around the world. And he did it, and he documented it all, like from the planning of the trip all the way through traveling through like these deserts and like motorcycles breaking down and camping and like all the carrying all your supplies and this and the other. But they made the whole trip around the world, but he did this with like his best friend, and they documented the whole thing. It's just one of like the greatest documentaries I've ever seen. And they did there's two. There's one that's long way round, and then they did another one that's long way down. And it's like a whole another huge crazy long trip. Um, but yeah, long way round was a ton of fun to watch. I originally saw it on Netflix, and I don't know where it's at now. That you can watch it. Oh, and I guess he's got another one coming out called Long Way Up, or maybe it's already out. 13,000 miles around Central and South America. Let me see.
Hmm,
Yeah, so the long way around was a 19,000-mile trip on a motorcycle.
that's crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah, that's.
Absolutely insane. It's so good. But yeah, so that's mine.
I'm gonna have to check that out because I had no idea that even existed. Like I've never heard of
Yeah,
that.
man. I watched it, and like when I saw the first episode, like I became obsessed with it because like he's just an entertaining person in general. Um, and then like again, it's like something he's doing with one of his good friends that he's known forever, and just man, like the stuff that they had to deal with and go through, and it was all just really interesting. You get to see all these crazy different cultures. I don't remember if it was long way round or if it was long way down that he like. I think it was long way round when he was like hanging out with these like nomadic Mongolian people, and they like helped them like with a welder to like fix one of their bikes like in the middle of fucking nowhere. Just like just interesting to see just like just different sides of humanity and stuff, but just from like this different perspective of literally just these guys just traveling around the world just because they can, just neat.
Yeah. Is it on? Prime or Netflix or
It
any of
was, like I
those?
said, it was on Netflix. I don't know where you can stream it now.
I mean,
You can rent.
I'll
You
just
can
pay
probably.
to
You can.
rent
I'm
it
sure you
off of
can rent it
Amazon.
somewhere. Yeah, long
Yeah,
way around. But yeah, just long way around with you and McGregor. That was the first one, and like I said, there's long way down, and I guess now there's long way up, which I don't know anything about that, but I guess it came out this year.
yeah, man.
Good stuff. Well, shit, man.
Uh, yeah,
Anybody got any questions for us? Anybody got anything that we didn't cover that they want us to hear or want to hear us talk about?
yeah,
I'm
it's up to
guessing
you
not.
guys right now. We're at the hour and a half mark, which is usually about where we try to call it, unless we have a guest that's really delivering, uh, and everybody wants to hear more, which seems to happen every week. We always
Yeah.
get to about 2 hours, but with it being
Otherwise,
just
I'll
me and
see.
Zach, man.
Yeah. Otherwise, I guess we'll see a lot of you guys on Cards Against Humanity, right? Is that going to be on? That's through the Discord, through Cusco's Discord.
I believe that's where the setup
Yep.
is.
Yep. Cool. So, for anybody that's in there,
Yeah, guys.
otherwise,
So,
appreciate y'all.
thank you. We love you all. To everybody that feels like they are connected by creatures.
Have a good night, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Later.